Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to my Hello Friend card tutorial where I'm going to create this card using the Hello Friend bundle, or Friendly Hello bundle I should say, from Stampin' Up. Now this bundle is free when you spend $100 at my store, and the bundle is going to come with a stamp set and the designer series paper. So I'll just go over that, and then later in this video I'm going to show you all kinds of other things you can get during Sale-A-Bration. We'll go through this brochure and I'll show you other samples. So if you're part of my card club, the Sale-A-Bration card club that is, then you already have the pieces to make this card. The rest of you, I'm going to tell you what you need, and this is just an open tutorial. Everyone can follow along. So you're going to need the Friendly Hello stamp set. You're going to need the bundle. Like I said, the bundle is part of the Friendly Hello Designer Series paper as well. We'll look at the paper in a moment. You're going to need some stamping blocks because we're going to do stamping with the little sprigs and leaves. And the colors of ink I'm using today are Granny Apple Green, which is a coordinating color for the paper. Okay, we're going to use Night of Navy for this sentiment, Night of Navy. And we're going to use Petal Pink. And it doesn't look like this. My case got faded. It looks more, it looks like Pale Papaya a lot, but the Petal Pink's more pinky and when I open it up. Pinky. Remember that from Greece? Pinky Tuscadero. I'm aging myself, right? All right, so let's take this and open this up. And I need a little spread. And we're going to also need some Night of Navy cardstock, I should mention. Night of Navy, basic white, and then, of course, this one back here is the Pool Party. But I'll show you those as we use them, and I'll write down some measurements for you. All right, so let's do this. Let's do first the coordinating colors of this paper. That's what I was trying to open up to in my brochure. It tells me the coordinating colors because I lost the little paper that went in the back of the package. All right, so the Designer Series paper. It's called Friendly Hello Designer Series paper. I'm going to flip it around and show you the different patterns on it. It comes in a pack of 12 by 12 inches, and you get 12 sheets. And they're double-sided, so you get 2 sheets that look like this, right? Two sheets exactly like this. I have one left for this project. I saved it. And the coordinating colors are basic black. You can see that in there. Fresh Freesia. That's that purpley color. Granny Apple Green. That's going to be what we're stamping with today. Granny Apple Green. Petal Pink. That's the one I said looks a lot like Pale Papaya to me. There's that Fresh Freesia again. Pool Party. Here's the Pool Party. And Shaded Spruce. Let's see where the shaded spruce is used back here. It's the darker greenish color. This piece is awesome because you can stamp onto it. And I saw that done at one of our events we went to. I think I might have done it during the unboxing, but I don't know what happened to that piece. You can stamp this onto here. Pretty cool. Stamp that flower onto there. And that was it. So those were the coordinating colors. And so we're going to use some of these pieces to cut for our patterns. And we're going to cut like 4 of them the same, and then one will be a little bit smaller. Only because that's the layout I used. So let's take out the trimmer and do some of the cutting that we need to do, and we'll take out the Simply Score and do some of the scoring we need to do. But keep in mind that you could score with your trimmer as well. You don't have to have a separate Simply Scored to make your cards, right? Because on our Stampin' trimmer, this is the Stampin' trimmer, it comes with a scoring, I get extra little hitchhikers on there. It comes with a scoring blade and a cutting blade. I just happen to I do way more cutting, and I keep one of my blades dull. That's a little dimensional on there to tell me this is my dull blade, and this is my sharper blade. My duller blade I use for maybe cutting up papers for paper shares, and my sharper blade for projects, but then I took off the scoring tool off mine because I prefer to use this. When you're making a card like this, we're going to use Night of Navy for the card base. You want to just make 2 cards at once. So this is an A2 card. And so we're going to turn it. We're going to take the 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and we're going to turn it sideways like this. I'll show you what that looks like. Let me grab this under here. I need to help you visualize this because some of you, whoa, there goes my tripod. My tripod's getting wonky. Some of you are new card makers, and I want to make sure I explain, some processes to you when I do my card tutorial. So this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It makes 2 cards. I'm going to make 2 cards like this, see? So I'm going to score it at the same time along the 5.5 inch mark so that I can get 2 cards out of this at once. So 5.5 inches. That's the only scoring I'm going to do in this whole entire tutorial. Okay, and the rest of it we'll do is cutting. So now we have 2 cards at once. But when I write down the measurements, I'm going to write down the measurements for 1 card. So now we're going to take our trimmer and we're going to turn this paper that's 11 inches. Getting rid of the pack of Nighty Navy. And we're going to turn it this way. And we're just going to lift up the little thing and we're going to make it half the size. So it's 8.5 by 11, so we're going to do 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Oops, that's 5 1/4. 4 1/4. Okay, and we're going to just cut. And now we have 2 card bases, A2 card bases. So what I like to do while I'm here is just let me put down the scoring tool. You either do this, whatever you have a little corner, like the corner, use the corner of your trimmer or the corner of your simply scored. And then I'm going to take the cards and fold them up like that. And I'm going to push it against the corner. Always use the corner and get your little spatula. This is just a Pampered Chef spatula. It's called a stone scraper. I like to use it as my spatula, but you can use your brother's ScanNCut spatula or your bone folder. Just flatten out your cards like that. Okay, and that's it. So that's that for the cards, and we'll write that down in a moment. But let's just keep on cutting. Now we're going to take our pool party now. Pool party. And we're going to also take a piece of, and we could do this at the same time. I guess we'll, so I don't know, your trimmer can handle it. We can do them at the same time. We'll just take a piece of pool party and a piece of basic white. Hey, I'm glad Rhonda got to see me live for the first time. I'm going to say hi to all you guys in a moment, so keep checking in, saying hi. I'll get to you in a moment. I'm taking out a piece of basic white. Not the thick basic white, just the regular basic white. I'm going to put these together, the pool party and the basic white, and cut them at the same time. So we're going to just get in there, push them to make sure that you get them to be, even, Steven. And we're going to go 4 inches. Because remember, the card was 4 1/4, so we're making this 4 inches. And then I'm going to turn it, and we're making these by 5 1/4. 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just doing 2 of these at once. One's for the inside of the card. One's for the outside of the card. 4 by 5 1/4. All right. That's good enough. I have, oh wait, I got 1 made. We're going to do 2. We're going to make 1 for the other card. Sorry, just make 2. I was flipping that around at 5 1/4. So we have these extra little strips, right? Save these. You're going to have a bunch of extra little strips. That's why these are great for stamping onto. That's why my little packages are filled with extra little scraps. I have another bag I put them in too. And I try to put the scraps back in the package they came in so I can remember what color they are. All right, so there we go. I think we're done with the cutting. Oh, no, we're not done with the cutting, but we could do some adhering and then get back to the cutting. All right, so now we just test it. This was extra pieces. So we're going to just test it and just kind of adhere that. Let's see. Test it meaning, did I get the 1/4 inch around it or did I forget? Okay, that's what we want. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, and then we want to do one on the inside. So get out your Seal Plus adhesive or your glue or whatever adhesive you use. I like to use Seal Plus. You can use your tear and tape. I may have to use glue. Oh wait, here it is. Here it is. I was like, I had it right here. I pulled everything out for the tutorial, and then of course, when you go live, then things just start getting buried all over the room, and you're like, I just had it here. All right, so you're going to attach that you know, and I like to detach it now while I could see it. Once you put paper on it, the little pieces of paper, it's kind of hard to get that exact margin right. You know, so I just find it's easier to attach right now while it's not decorated. I mean, you can attach it later. If you could put all your designer series paper on it and then attach it. One side, when you cut, is always a little, you know, sort of more raggedy than the other. And I make that the bottom side. That's just what the blade does to your paper. And sometimes when you cut card bases with the ScanNCut, you don't get that little raggedy edges, which is nicer cuts sometimes, but just depends on what tool you have for the job at the moment. All right, perfect. So that's the inside. So we don't need to do 2 cards, but right now I always just like to cut. While I'm cutting 1 card, I like to cut 2, right? So now we have another one made for later. Okay, so always cut. In fact, make 4 at once, because you have this piece. You could have made 4 at once. You could make another couple card bases in there, or card layers. All right, so we got that done. Now that we have that done, we're going to pull out the pieces we need, and I'm going to talk about orienting them now that I've told you about the paper. So let's look at our sample. And it doesn't matter where you put these on the sample, but I put this one on top. But it does matter how you cut it. Okay, so it matters how you cut it. So we're going to take this piece here and we're going to orient it like that. So that when we cut it in our little strips, it's going the right way where you see the most of the patterns. So we're going to orient that one like that. And let's find the next one. The next one doesn't really matter because it's just this one here. Okay, we'll cut. Let me get a couple of those. Let me just cut a couple of those and then we'll get back to the others. Because you can only cut maybe 2 or 3 at once, but I have so many to cut. We'll just cut 2 right now. All right. And I told you I'd write down some measurements too. So let's, before we get too far ahead of ourselves. So we have 11 inches by 4 1/4, right? That was this. So it's a card. Don't mind my 4 1/4. Don't mind my and the scribble sketch. And this was Night of Navy. Those of you in my card club got a nice PDF. Well, I think it was nice. It took me many hours to create. All right, then card layers. I'm going to just say the layers are going to be, there's 2 of them. And they were going to be 5 1/4 times 4 inches. And there was pool party. And it was also basic white. All right, so that's where we're at. You have some notes to write down. Now we're going to do these pieces. So we've turned our paper. Let's make that one. This one doesn't matter, and this one matters, the orientation of it. So we're doing these little strips on our trimmer, 3 3/4 inch. Why? Because remember, this is 4 inches across. So the little strips are going to be 3 3/4 inch across. This is just kind of what you want to do for when you're making layered cards. Just make things 1/4 inch smaller. Okay, 3 3/4 inches. Let's get rid of those. And now let's grab the other 2 and do those at the same time. We're going to get this little piece here. Not that one. We're going to need this piece for later. We'll save that. We need this piece here. Pattern really doesn't matter. I don't think it matters too much, but we'll do it this way. And let's see. And we want this little pattern. Okay, so we're going to get out a couple pieces of those. 3 3/4. Actually, here, let's put the green one in there at the same time. We can cut 3 pieces of designer series paper at the same time. They're all 3 3/4 anyway, so 3 3/4. All right, so now I can get rid of, oops, I spoke too soon, right? It didn't quite cut the 3rd piece at the same time, so we're just going to get back in there. Cut it. All right. There we go. There's our 5 pieces. Getting rid of all this stuff over there. Making room on my table. So now we're going to turn these pieces, except for this one. This one is not, Let's just do 2 at once. This guy's the oddball. He's not the same size. So we'll just do 2 at once. We're going to turn them, right? And we're going to make them 1 inch. We're making most of them 1 inch, but not all of them. So let's make, so what I'm going to do is I'll make 2 of them. So I'm going to do the 2 inch. This to me is easier. This is my method. 2 inches. I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to then, let me make sure this is flat. It's just better when it's flat. I think it's easier when you do a 2 inch piece and then you move it over here and cut the 1 inch like that. I just find it easier because things don't slip as much. When you shut this, shut it slowly because the wind, right? The wind of you messing with it with the air makes it sometimes move, okay? And then I find it easier. Now I have all the pieces cut at once. So that's what I find it easier. So now we have some of those made, and let's do the same. Okay, let's see. Come on, pencil, get out of the way. Okay, we're going to say 2 inches. Move it over to the 1 inch mark and get 2 of them at the same time. Okay. And now we need this piece. Now you're going to take this piece, the green piece, and you're going to make them 3/4 of an inch. Because it's not quite as big as you need that little margin. So 3/4, just do those manually here, 3/4. You might have to get in there and look at your line because see, it already got wonky, just 3/4. All right, so that's good. Now we have all the pieces we need. And I'm going to write that down for you. So that's your little layout. Right? DSP times 4 of those. You need 4 of those. DSP times 1. So they're going to be, for the DSP is going to be 3 3/4 times 1 inch. But then one of them is going to be 3 3/4 times 3/4 of an inch. Okay, let's start assembling our card. But before you adhere them down, just kind of lay them down there, just to kind of give you a little frame of reference, you know, of where they're going to be and stuff. So that way, you can either start from the inside out or outside in. Oops, something already got awry here. Oh, this was I think this was the piece that I accidentally cut the wrong size. When I was, okay, so this little guy is the oddball out. So we need to cut him again. That was, remember earlier my paper slipped? I went back and didn't cut it the same size. 3 3/4. I had a little sliver of this guy cut off, so we're going to do him again. That's why you do your little layout first, because you're like, how did this one oddball get out there? All right, so I think it might be better to assemble these with glue because they're a little more forgiving, you know, so you can wiggle them around a little bit when you use glue. All right, good, good, good. That's what I want. So whenever you're doing a card like this, and I think this will be fun for like a slimline card too, because you could use lots and lots of colors of patterns of paper. You want to put that little margin between them, just a little bit. There's going to be a bigger margin around the outside than between each one. But you just kind of leave them there as a reference. Okay. So you can use of course, your Seal Plus, but when you use glue, then you can wiggle it so that it stays straight. Because these get wonky and then, there we go. So I just kind of like to work from the outside in because then it doesn't really matter. Like if I get that margin right and the top margin right, then the other ones can be smaller distances between. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so far so good. See how I'm working outside in? Okay, and like I said, little margins between them. They don't have the 1/4 inch margin between them. There's a thinner margin between them, and this one doesn't matter. So push this down a little bit. You're just showcasing the paper, and you got good color coordination. See how I was able to wiggle it? Because it didn't dry all the way yet, but this glue dries so quickly. Our multi-purpose adhesive Tombow glue, whatever it's called. It dries so quickly and really strong. So like, you know, you have a chance to wiggle it just in the beginning. Okay. Patterns are good. Now we're going to do our stamping. I'm going to say hi, and we're going to do some stamping. And I don't know how they didn't get to be the same size after all that. Here we go. I think it is the same size, it's just a little bit of an angle. Good, good, good. I'm happy with that. All right, let's put this away. We'll leave your measurements there. We'll get the stamping ready. You're also going to need some little bling later, guys. Get out your bling. You're going to need, I'm using the new iridescent rhinestone, iridescent rhinestone gems or something like that it's called. We're going to mount our stamps, use our colors. So I'm happy with how it's coming out, and it's an easy card. Just, you know, a few steps, but you do a bunch at once. See, look, I have extra pieces made, right? So it's an easy card. You can do it. Now for this part, let me say hi to you, and I'm going to get out the thick basic white cardstock. Hi, Bear Claws from Colorado. Hello, Melissa from San Antonio, Texas. All right. Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Donna from Ohio. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Vicky from Vancouver, Washington. Rhonda is happy to watch me live. She hasn't been here in a long time. I'm taking out the mini cut and emboss machine is what I'm doing. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Yvette. Hey, I like your last name, Yvette. Okay, let me put this there. I'm taking out the mini embossing machine is what I'm doing. Hello, Rose. And the reason I'm using the thick one right now, the thick basic white cardstock, is because sometimes it just gets, it doesn't get indented as much. So we're going to use plate number 1 to cut this little rectangle, and we're going to use plate number 2, and we're going to use another plate number 2 on top. Okay, so that's the sandwich. The mini sandwich is much easier. The mini cut and emboss machine sandwich is much easier. Plate 1, plate 2, you put the die down on the paper, and plate 2 again. So what die am I talking about? I'm talking about the stitched rectangle dies. I'm using stitched rectangle dies. I use those for most of my projects. I mean, especially my like card clubs and bingos and things where I can give you guys an easy way to cut out your sentiments. So I just double check before I cut it out that it's the right one. And it is the right one to hold the friendly hello. So that's the right correct rectangle. But if you don't have these stitched rectangle dies, you're just going to cut yourself a rectangle. Okay, let me just put it in there. And actually here, let me turn the hand. You can go either way. I'm going to use this handle on this side. Okay, but you saw my sandwich. And you don't want to put the plates going in at the same spot. Make sure you stagger the plates or it won't catch in there. Okay, stagger the plates. Don't put them all in at the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to push that in a little bit. And then I'm going to grab it with this hand. Okay, because of where the camera is, I'm just using my left hand, even though I'm right-handed. So you're going to cut yourself a stitched rectangle or a rectangle to put your sentiment on. Okay, check it. Came out good. And that's the reason I use the thick basic white cardstock, because the thick one is, you have less chance of like going so far deep into this where the metal cuts through your paper. If you use the regular basic white cardstock, the kind that I use for the insides of cards, sometimes I cut right through the paper. All right, so let's look at this, because I know you're probably wondering, and I forget too. So I'm just going to give you an estimate here. This one was the one that was like 3 1/4 about. It's less than 3 1/4, but it was about 3 1/4 by 1 3/4 or something. So just cut yourself a rectangle that's going to be big enough for your sentiment. Now, normally I would cut a bunch before I start attempting to stamp. However, I have some extras over here on my table, so I don't have to worry about that. I've made a bunch of extras, see? Because when I had the card club, I prepared a bunch of stuff. So I was like, so I have extras here, but so I'm usually not going to just stamp one at a time. So let's stamp a few at a time, right? Because that's the way I stamp. Now let's put down some silicone mats when you stamp. Let's put down silicone so that things don't slip around, right? These are so easy to, these are nice little, they say Stampin' Up. They have little, I just get these little basic silicone craft sheets, silicone mats, and just use them for everything. All right, so let's stamp on our paper some to make sure that we have the right ink, consistency. So we're going to open up the Night of Navy. Because if you don't get your sentiment right, the flowers don't matter, like the little sprigs on the outside. If you don't get your sentiment right, you trash the whole thing. So then there's no reason to put little leaves around the side if you don't get a good sentiment. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. If you don't get a good sentiment, don't bother with the sides, right? So you always do your I'm going to do my sentiment first. So we have to ink it up. We're going to take it out. And we're going to put this flat side up. It's a photopolymer stamp, so flat side up. Mount it onto our stamping block, right? And then tap it into your Night of Navy ink, and then test it over here. It's going to take a couple tries to get inked up real good. Okay, tap it over there. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, see? A good image. So don't waste your good image. Your first couple images are not going to be good. Don't stamp it onto your rectangle until you have a good image. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple at once because I'm here. And it's just much easier to do, do your cards at once. I'm going to make a lot more of these cards. One thing that this has helped me with myself is after I did the Sale-A-Bration, I did like an opening of Sale-A-Bration Card Club. And I'm not able to keep things on my website, but I have like a newsletter, and I might send out like a deadline, sign up for Sale-A-Bration Card Club. And then what happened is I made a bunch and I sent them out. Then I have all these extra pieces. So it's been really, really nice for me to just then go through my bags of stuff and just what I did is whatever ones I didn't use for the card club, I just went through all my bags and just made a bunch of cards. So I was so happy to have this card club because it made me have all these pieces. I don't hardly ever make the same card twice. That's just not how I roll. So I was so happy to have all these pieces where I could just keep making cards really easily. I'm like, maybe I should start making the same card twice. It saves me a lot of time. All right, so this was, by the way, stamping block H. Now let's start doing stuff with the little sprigs and things. So this is a little sprig. This is a little petal pink sprig. We'll do him last, or we'll do her last. It's going to be a she. We're going to do her last on stamping block B. Let's just do the leaves first. The leaves are these two leaves. And did I do them at the same? No, I think I just used, nope, I just used the small leaf. So we don't need the big leaf. We're going to use the small leaf. Let's put the big leaf back. All right, so we're going to put the big leaf here. And I just want to talk about a technique. So put that down like flat and then go like that. The technique I'm going to show you is called stamping off. So we're going to open this up, the granny apple green. First, just get your first image that's good. And there's our image and it's good. All right. Now we're going to do what's called stamping off. So stamp on, stamp off. Kind of like Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. So the stamp, you're going to stamp on, and then you're going to stamp off, meaning you're going to do a second stamp like that. Okay, isn't that cool? So you don't need two colors. You're using the same color. So we're going to do that a bunch of times. I'm doing it over here. Here, let's use this as an example. Let's put the card back down here. See? So stamp on, stamp off, stamp on, stamp off. Okay, so let's do that to all the cards. Stamp on, stamp off. Okay, it's also called second generation stamping. So it's either called stamping off or second generation stamping. So the first generation is this, and then the second generation is that, and you can keep on doing it lighter and lighter each time. So there you go. So that's good. Then we just keep on going. So I think I'm liking it. I'm liking the second one better. So I'm just going to not make them all just like that. I'm just going to kind of do the second one for most of these. I think I'm going to do something like that because I think the first one was kind of dark. So I'm just going to do all the second ones. And you're just going to kind of do them wherever you want. I'll do one up here. Oops, it doesn't matter if you forget to do it off. Just do it on. All right. Okay, and a couple more. I think I'm going to do a couple more. Oh, this is so fun. I love stamping. So these are already second generation because I'm already just kind of using my mat. Okay, good, good, good. We're going to put the petal pink on last. So like I said, there was no sense in doing your petal pink and your leaves first, because if you don't get a good sentiment, the rest doesn't really matter. All right, that one's already done. So now we're good. So now we're going to close the Granny Apple Green, open up the petal pink, and get that fun little sprig. And this stamp set's good for what I've been teaching on my channel, the baby wipe technique. You could probably use that. That one needs a little gem on it. You could use the baby wipe technique on this card or some other. I'm just trying to get that sprig first. Okay, good. I'm not using second generation Stampin' on this. This is already light, so I'm going to go ahead and do it straight on there. But I was just testing it to make sure I got a good image. Oops, and then I went crooked after all that. It doesn't matter. Okay, and these I'm just kind of putting the sprigs. Kind of just putting them off to the, inside like that. So just tapping in there. I mean, put them wherever you want them. I'm doing 5. I'm just trying to do some kind of like odd number there. That one looks good. One. So using colors that coordinate really does matter, because it's going to match your paper and just make your cards look more professional. And now you're just popping these up with some dimensionals. Okay, let's get the one we like the best here. This is a good one. Or this one was good. So I'm just popping it up with some dimensionals. 1, 2, maybe 3, so it's not wonky. Put that on there. Center it amongst your little. And then you need some iridescent rhinestone gems, right? And you're just going to do some kind of odd number of your gems. I'm going to put one there because my paper just seems to not be this right size. So I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to put one. There's 3 different sizes of these iridescent rhinestones. So I'm just going to use one of each size. And I'm just going to kind of do that here. Okay, so 3 of those. And voila, that's our card. Now let me move some stuff and show you what else we've done in this series. Leave you the measurements. Okay, put those down. This is a Sale-A-Bration card club series, so I'm going to show you all the different things I made with Sale-A-Bration and some extras that I made on my channel. So Gloria from Connecticut. Thank you, Gloria, for reminding everybody to hit thumbs up if you liked the video. Thank you. And click on the bell to be notified, because YouTube does clean sweeps once in a while, and you have to click on the bell again every once in a while to be notified of my lives. Even if you've done it before, I have to keep doing it on channels I follow. Hello, Gina. Hello, Sharon from Oregon. And Lynn from Seattle. Melody. Ooh, temperature of 4 degrees, Gloria. That's too cold for me. All right, where was I? Sale-A-Bration. During this series, I'm just going to walk through here. This series, I've been doing Sale-A-Bration card club and just Sale-A-Bration projects. So from now until February 28th, this is our Sale-A-Bration brochure. You get something free when you spend $50 at my Stampin' Up! Store. Here are the free things you can get. I don't have them all, believe it or not. But these are the free things you can get. This Item Vibes. This one, Daffodil Afternoon, Designer Series paper. So I'll show you a few things I made with that. Okay, so here are the things I made with Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. These two are part of our Card Club series. And we've already started working with this paper, so we'll be doing the second one of these cards. I believe I already did the Easter blessings because Easter came before Mother's Day. I think that's what I did. But we've already done one of these, so we're going to do another one of these cards in this series. So in February, I'm done for January. February, we have one more box with this stamp set. We have a little box, and then we have this one of these cards. And then we're done the Sale-A-Bration Card Club. Okay, so these are, but this one is how to really step it up. You can really step up the free Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper by using our Daffodil Daydream bundle from the mini catalog, and which has some dies with it, and you can really step up your cards. So you can use free paper, but then products from the Daffodil Afternoon Daydream bundle from our catalog and really step up your cards. All right, there we go. Then we have Catching Butterflies, very cute. I think I did order Drive By. I don't know what happened to it. Driving By. I think that's going to be fun to cut out with the ScanNCut. All right, this one I have a whole entire workshop series, or workshop series on Sunshine and Rainbows. So let's see. We've already done one of the cards for this using this Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper that's free when you spend $50 at my Stampin' Up! Store. You don't need this catalog to do that. You just go to online and you can shop and you can get it. Everything's online. Okay, everything's online at this website, so it's linked in the description of the video. So we made this card already on YouTube as part of this series, and I think I have some other. We've already started you can still sign up for the workshop series until the end of the month, and that is the Rainbow of Happiness workshop series. So check that out in the description of this video because that's still going on, even though my card club is already closed, but you can still sign up for the series. Okay, Simply Marvelous. I did a tutorial on YouTube on how to cut out Simply Marvelous Designer Series paper using your ScanNCut. So here's some Simply Marvelous projects. Okay, a bookmark, and I showed you how to cut out these like funky border shapes and everything. And then here's the same stamp set we just used. I mean, look how different the stamp set looks, right? When you put it with different papers and things. Same stamp. Friendly hello or hello friend. I mean, completely different look. So that's the Simply Marvelous paper. Free when you spend $50. Here are the Awesome Otters. And we started out this series with the Awesome Otters. And we made this card. So that's part of the card club. Actually, we did this one. But then I showed you a different variation of it where I did it much more inking. So I showed you how to blend the otters. The free Awesome Otter stamp set, how to use the Stampin' Blends to color them, and embossing folder. So if you missed all these videos, what I'm referring to already is just loads of tutorials on my channel. Just go Papered Chef. P-A-P-E-R, not pampered. Please don't put the M in there. I'm not a chef, although sometimes I try to do a recipe here and there. I'm the Papered Chef. So anyway, you can find all these videos on my channel. And then we just did this one. And I have another project that we'll be doing as part of the card club. And that is, You Have My Love and Support. We're going to make this little box using the Friendly Hello stamp set. You Have My Love and Support. Okay, so that's another stamp that's part of this. We'll be making this little box. And then there's another little otter box. Okay, and I think that was all the, there's more. That was free when you spend $100. You get both the stamp set and the paper. And then more free. Here, let's see. I can't believe I don't have this one, but I saw my team member, Gina. She was making stuff with this. I'm like, wow, these sentiments are really cool. Special moments. I thought I had it coming, but you had it coming. You had it coming. Anyway, I thought I ordered it, but I don't know what happened. Host, the special one you get if you spend $300 or you have $300 at a party. So if you want to have a Facebook virtual party, I can help you with that. And the host gets this stamp set for free. when the orders are $300 or the workshop order is $300. And then the last special for Sale-A-Bration is with our starter kit $99 special. You get to pick out $125 worth of items, and you only pay $99 and you get free shipping and a free former paper pumpkin kit. But the best part is during Sale-A-Bration, you also get 2 free stamp sets. So I recommend getting like stamp sets that are, you can't get stamp sets that are part of Sale-A-Bration as your starter kit, but I would just recommend getting stamp sets that are like in the mini catalog that are on your wish list and add them to your starter kit. So you pick out any 2 free stamp sets. So pick out the 2 free ones that are the most expensive ones, is what I'm trying to say. I recommend getting, if you're going to pick out the 2 free stamp sets, get the 2 most expensive stamp sets for free. And then you have more versatility and more value in your starter kit. All right, so that's the Sale-A-Bration for you. I thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed making this card today and that you'll give this a try with whatever materials you have. Thank you, Karen, and all of you for your nice comments. That's all for now. This is The Papered Chef.